look who we have here. It's Mr. Hawkins the Bachelor. Tell me, what on earth is your excuse for remaining single at your age and status? Last year you said this year was the year. But the year is already ending, yet no wedding bells. Ethan, life is unpredictable. If I were in your shoes, I'd be married with a dozen grandkids by now. And why aren't you married? It's my financial situation. My paycheck barely covers the rent, let alone supporting a family. Speaking of money, my property manager tells me your rent is due and you're not complying. That's why I'm here. Mr. Hawkins, I was wondering if I could get an extension. My boss refused to give me a raise again. It's tough making ends meet. Ethan, you are always asking for more time to pay your rent. It's becoming a habit, and I can't keep granting you extensions. Please, Mr. Hawkins, I can't afford to be homeless. I just need a bit more time. I'll pay you as soon as I can. I promise. Fine, I'll give you one more extension, but this is the last time. You need to get your financial situation in order or consider finding a more affordable place to live. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. I appreciate your understanding. Mr. Boone, have you noticed any changes in Zoe recently?
Changes? What do you mean?
Well, these days when I go pick her up from school, I see her hanging out with some really strange kids. They give me a bad vibe with the way they dress and style their hair.
Zoe is a responsible and trustworthy kid. I trust she knows how to make the right choices.
I get that, but these kids of nowadays, you can't completely trust them. I mean, we should be aware of who she's spending time with, don't you think?
Ethan, I appreciate your concern, but my wife and I raised Zoe well.
I understand, Mr. Boone. It's just that as her driver, I can't help but notice these things. I want to make sure she's safe.
Would you concentrate on driving and leave the parenting to me?
Of course, Mr. Boone. Sorry if I overstepped. It's just that I care about Zoe like she's family.
Zoe, may I come in?
Sure, Dad. Come on in.
How's everything, sweetheart?
Everything's fine, Dad. Just studying for a test.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, I'm really proud of the person you're becoming, Zoe. You're doing so well in school, and I can't wait for you to get into law school so you can show those other kids how it's done.
Thanks, Dad. It means a lot to me to hear that.
I want you to know, Zoe, as you grow up, you might encounter new experiences and friends. Sometimes, there might be peer pressure to do things that you don't agree with. Just remember, it's essential to remain the good girl you've always been.
Dad, I promise to stay true to our values.
That's my girl. Keep up the good work, and never forget how special you are to me.
I love you too, Dad.
Hi Ethan. What's up with you? Man, I really need a raise. I've been working so hard, and I feel like I deserve it. Well, have you talked to your boss about it? Not yet. I'm kind of nervous about it, you know? What if he says no, or worse, gets upset? Come on, you won't know unless you try. Yeah, I get that, but it's easier said than done. Ethan, if you've been putting in the effort and you believe you deserve it, you owe it to yourself to ask. Be polite, present your case confidently, and you might be surprised. Besides, the worst that can happen is your boss says no, but at least you tried. You're right, it's about time I advocate for myself. That's the spirit. You've got this.
I'm just tired of always running late for work. My driver has to make multiple trips to drop me and my wife at our workplaces. It's becoming quite inconvenient.
I completely understand, Mr. Boone. We have a variety of cars that I'm sure your wife would love.
Well, my wife is quite particular. She loves a comfortable interior and appreciates advanced safety features.
We have just the models that fit that description. Let me show you a few options.
Sure. Ethan, I bought a new car for my wife and I've decided to hire a new driver for her. This way, both of us can get to work on time.
Mr. Boone, I can drive both cars. It won't be a problem for me. You only need to pay me a little extra and that would be it.
The whole point of buying a new car is to ensure my wife and I both have a smooth commute. That won't be possible if we continue to share the same driver.
Well, why can't Mrs. Boone drive herself by now? You've had a car for ages.
Ethan, show some respect for my wife.
I'm sorry, sir. While we're at it, can we talk about my pay? Seeing that you can afford a new car and a new driver for Mrs. Boone, I believe you should be able to give me a raise. I'm struggling to pay my bills.
You can't just speak to me like that.
But it's the truth. You have the money, but you won't help out your own employees.
That's enough, Ethan. Leave my office immediately. You always do this, Lisa. You never listen to me.
Well, maybe if you actually said something worth listening to, we wouldn't be arguing all the time.
I work myself out every day, and all you do is spend money on useless junk.
That's because I need to treat myself sometimes.
What is happening there?
We're drowning in debt.
Well, whose fault is that, huh? You promised we'd have a better life by now.
Hey, you two, I think you should calm down and talk it out. We mismanaged the funds and why?
Mind your business.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Your eye is swollen. You should see a doctor.
You got some swelling and bruising, but it doesn't seem too serious. But I have to advise you to avoid getting into fights.
I wasn't even the one fighting. I was just trying to separate the fight between a couple.
That's even worse, Mr. Ethan. We've had cases where people who tried to break up fights ended up seriously injured or, in some tragic cases, lost their lives. It's a risky situation to involve yourself in. You should call the authorities and let them handle it next time.
You're right, Doc. I'll definitely think twice before jumping into a situation like that again.
Ethan, what happened to your eyes? Why do you have bandages?
I'm fine, ma'am. It's just some minor bruises.
Hey Ethan, can you do me a favor?
Sure, what's up, Zoe?
I need you to drive me to an area downtown before going home. Please, don't tell my parents about it.
What's going on, Zoe? Why don't you want your parents to know?
It's just something I need to do, Ethan. Please, I promise it's nothing bad, but I really can't let my parents find out.
Zoe, you know I am not the type to keep secrets.
Ethan, please.
Fine. I'll do it this once.
Thank you so much, Ethan. You're the best.
Just make it quick, okay?
Hey, Zoe. Long time no see. How have you been?
I've been good, Tristan.
Well, come on in.
Thanks.
Sneaky little girl. I knew she wasn't the sweet teenager her father painted her to be. What's going on in there, anyway? Who's that guy? If she's up to no good, Mr. Boone deserves to know. I need evidence, though. A video would be perfect. No room for misunderstandings. I'll sneak in there quietly, record whatever's happening, and then show it to Mr. Boone. I'll get to the bottom of this.
Zoe, make yourself comfortable. I'll go let my sister know you're here.
Thanks, Tristan. Zoe, what's wrong? Why are you crying? It's my LSAT scores, Jemima. I did terribly, and I don't know how to tell my dad. Zoe, maybe it's time to be honest with your dad about what you really want. You've been trying so hard to meet his expectations, but is it really what you want for yourself? I've always dreamt of being an artist, you know that, Jemima. But my dad desperately wants me to be a lawyer like him. Zoe, your happiness should come first. If you follow your dad's dream instead of your own, you'll struggle through law school, and you might not even be good at it. But you have such talent as an artist. You should pursue your passion, not someone else's. I'm just so scared, Jemima. I don't want him to be disappointed in me. Zoe, if your dad loves you, he'll want what's best for you, even if it's different from what he had in mind.
This house is like a maze. I think I've taken a wrong turn again. I'm not even sure where I am right now. Zoe must be in one of these rooms. I have to find her and get some evidence for Mr. Boone.
Cheer up. Okay.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you. Where's the guy that answered the door?
That would be my brother. Is there a problem? Ethan, I told you to wait in the car. What are you doing here?
Well, you were taking so long, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I'm fine. You didn't have to come in. You always end up making everything so complicated.
I was just worried. I thought. Never mind.
Let's go. Bye, Jemima. Ethan, where is the car?
I don't know. It should be here. I parked it right outside before I went in.
But it's not here. Where is it?
It was parked right here.
Did you lock the car door?
I can't remember. Everything happened so fast. I was trying to find you, and I don't know.
We'll figure this out. Maybe someone moved it.
Moved it? Why would someone do that? This is a nightmare.
Let's not panic yet. We'll ask around. Maybe someone saw something.
So you expect me to believe this ridiculous story about my car disappearing while you were with Zoe? Come on, you must think I'm a fool.
Mr. Boone, believe me, it's the truth. I didn't have anything to do with it. I left the car right outside while I went in to check on Zoe. When we came out, it was gone.
You've been asking for a raise, accused me of being stingy towards my employees, and now my car disappears mysteriously? I'm not buying it. Did you arrange this with some thugs to get back at me?
No, Mr. Boone, I would never do something like that. I need the raise, but I wouldn't resort to stealing your car. You have to believe me.
I am calling the police. Yes, hello. I need to report a stolen car. It's my employee's doing, and I want him detained until my car is returned.
We'll send an officer to your location. Can you please provide the vehicle details?
Yes, officer.
Mr. Boone, I am innocent.
Zoe, what were you doing in that part of town? It's dangerous out there. And who is Jemima?
Dad, I've been taking lessons online to improve my painting skills. That's how I met Jemima. I kept it a secret because I didn't want you to know.
Paint lessons? How long has this been going on?
It's been a few months, Dad.
Zoe, you have your law career to focus on. You can't let yourself get distracted by these things.
Dad, I don't want to be a lawyer. I failed my LSAT, and I'm not even sure I can pass it again.
Why didn't you tell me earlier? I had no idea you were struggling.
I was scared, Dad. I didn't want to disappoint you.
I understand, sweetheart. I want you to be happy, and if painting is what makes you happy, then we'll figure it out together.
Thank you, Dad. I love you. So, why were you in the neighborhood, Mr. Ethan? I know it's not part of your route tour from Zoe's school.
I'll tell you the whole truth, officer. I was hoping to get some video evidence of Zoe hanging out with guys. But I got so caught up in that, I forgot to lock the car door.
And what about your attitude when you found out Mr. Boone bought a new car for his wife? Your boss said you seemed pretty insolent about it.
I didn't mean any harm, officer. I was just sharing my opinion. I thought it was a bit excessive, given the circumstances.
Sometimes it's better to mind your business, Ethan. Some problems in life are avoidable if people just stay out of things that don't concern them. Right now, it doesn't look good for you. We're still trying to figure out the car situation.
I hope they find the car soon. I didn't have any bad intentions.
If you can pray, this is the moment to do so. Your actions raised suspicions, and things are not looking well for you right now.
I never intended for things to take this turn, oh God. Now I find myself falsely accused and in a difficult situation. I made really poor choices, oh Lord, believing that taking matters into my own hands and seeking to provide evidence would earn me favor from my boss. However, it has resulted in accusations and mistrust instead. I pray for your guidance, dear Lord. I need your divine intervention. Please help me to find my way through this challenging situation and clear my name from these allegations. I promise to look up to you for help and guidance henceforth. I know that you are a God of mercy and forgiveness, and I humbly ask for your grace to shine upon me. In Jesus' name.
Dad, you're pretty good at driving.
Yes, unlike you, who keep failing your driving lessons.
You promised not to tease me about it again, Dad. You're not keeping your word.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. You'll get the hang of it with practice.
Dad, why don't you drive yourself instead of hiring a driver?
During my 20-minute ride to work, I review the cases I'll be working on for the day. Every second saved means more money.
Thank God I won't end up a lawyer like you, Dad. Your life revolves around your job.
And you won't be making much money following your passion.
Dad, what's going to happen to Ethan?
The court will decide. It's out of my hands.
Dad, please, let Ethan go. I feel like he's innocent.
He might also be guilty. We have to let the legal system run its course.
I really believe he's innocent, Dad. Besides, you have another car.
This is your mom's car. I bought it for her.
Then buy yourself another. You deserve a new car anyway, considering how hard you work.
Good day, sir. Is there any news about your car yet?
No.
Sir, believe me, I have nothing to do with the stolen car. I could never do that to anyone. Please believe me, sir.
Ethan, I have decided to drop the court case against you.
Mr. Boone, I'm so thankful. I promise to be more careful next time.
There won't be a next time, Ethan. You're just too much for me to handle.
Please, sir. Getting a good job is not an easy task at all. I promise never to bring up the topic of a raise in income again. Just let me keep my job.
I thought you would be contented that the case against you has been dropped.
I am, Mr. Boone, and I'm sorry for any trouble I caused.
Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.
Oh Lord, please teach me to guard my mouth from henceforth.